Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and the practical series of the cloud computing. In this session, we will start with the practical number 2 that is based on UDP. UDP is your user datagram protocol. Basically, this protocol is used to allow the communication between two or more machines. So suppose machine 1 या machine A wants to communicate with the machine B. So when we want to do the process to process communication, we use user datagram protocol. UDP is your connection less protocol. That means the machine A and machine B will not establish a connection between them. Right? They can directly start with the communication. So what happened in case of UDP? UDP में first the process on machine A will start its execution using a port number. Any random port we can use. Same, machine B has its own port number. Machine A, suppose it execute on the port number 8888. So now in case of UDP, machine B will execute on a different port number, that is your 999 suppose. So both the machines are independent. They are not tightly coupled with each other. So let us start with the execution or the program of the UDP. Now in NetBeans, we start with our practical of UDP. So in default package, right click, new, Java main class. Now here we write UDP underscore. So in this case we will see the factorial example, UDP Factorial. This is my server file. In the same way, we will create a client file, UDP underscore Factorial underscore client. So now these are the two files. First is your import java.io.star, import java.net.star. Now these are the two required packages for UDP. Again, just copy these packages, come and paste here. Now again, exception handling code, that is your try catch. Now display the exception as out, error and plus E. The same exception handling code, just copy and paste in line. Okay, we start with the main part of the program. This is the structure of your UDP program. Now we start with the port address. So suppose the server is executing on port number 8888, and in UDP we have a datagram socket. This is a class that is used to establish the or to provide the connectionless service. As we can see here, the class represents a socket for sending and receiving the datagram package. That means we communicate in case of UDP. Right? The communication will happen using a packets. So now I am creating a datagram socket object ds equals to new datagram socket, and we just pass this port and the server. We are writing just a message waiting for line, but the server is not waiting for the connection establishment. It is waiting for the client for communication. There is no need to establish the connection between the client and server in case of UDP. Okay, now client uses a different port number, suppose 999. So as we can see here, in server 888 and in client 999. Again, client uses a datagram socket class. DS equals to new datagram socket, and I pass the port number here. So this is the basic code that will start the server process on port number 8888 and client process on port number 999. Okay, now the communication phase directly start in UDP, and the communication phase will start by the client. So in client we interact with the user using a class buffer reader. The same code that we used in the TCP, right? The same code we are using here. New input stream reader and then system.in. So this is my buffer reader object. Now we just print a message, enter the number, and we will take a string first. Now br.readline. So do remember, students, right? In case of UDP, at client side we take a number but which is in the form of string, right? We will send the number, right, in the string form. At the server side, when the server will receive this number, right, we convert that number into the integer. Okay, so this is a code which is basically used to interact with the user. Now the most important part of your UDP practical is to create a packets. Datagram socket जो है, it allow the communication between a two machines using a packets. That means the communication will be in the form of packets. So before creating a packet, we declare a byte array, new byte, and we give the size 1024. It depends on you. You can also give 512. It depends on the size of the data that we are or the size of the packets that we are sending to the other machine. Now we convert the data, that is my num, this is the data that I want to send to the server, into bytes. So get bytes. Now we create a packet, datagram packet. As we can see here, it is a class dp1. This is my first packet, new datagram packet. Now to send the packet, right, we require 5 parameters, right? These 5 parameters are required. First, the byte array, the second offset, third length, fourth IP address of the server, and the port number of the server. So since we don't have the IP address of the machine, so first we will find out inet address, the IP address. ADDR equals to new inet address get localhost. So with the help of this, right, we can find the IP address. Now first the packet B is sent, then B dot length, then IP address, that is your ADDR, and the port number of the server. So now the client is executing on 999, but the server will execute on port number 888. So we pass this port number, and we will send ds dot send dp1. So with the help of this code, these 5 lines, right, the packet is created and the packet is sent to the other machine. So this is the most important part of the UDP practical. Okay, now this packet is sent by the client to the server. So now go to the server server will receive the packet. So to receive the packet, server again create a byte array of the same size, new byte and 1024. Then datagram packet dp1 equals to new datagram packet. To receive the packet, we have a two parameter. To send a packet, right, we require these four parameters: the data that wants to send, how much data you want to send, the length, the IP address whom to send, and the port address, that is your process address. So to receive the data, there are two parameters, b and b.net. That's it. We do not require the IP address and the port number at the time of receiving the packet. So DS, right? DS, that means executing on port 888. That means packet is received by this process. So this is a code, right, which is used to receive the packet sent by the other machine. Now we convert this packet. Since the packet, as we can see here, at the client side, right, we converted the data into bytes. That means the packet received by the server, it is in the form of bytes. So now we convert this packet first into string, new string dp1 dot get data. This will convert the packet into the string, start from 0, and dp1 dot get length. Now next we convert this number, this data, that is your str, into number at server side, because to calculate the factorial we require a number. So this is a code, right, which is basically used to convert the data into string, into integer dot parse it. Now we write a factorial logic, f equals to 1, then we execute the for loop. We all know about the factorial, right? We just do the multiplication till that number. We just multiply the number 1 into 1, say 1 into 2, then 2 into 3, 2 into 3, 6, 6 into 4, 24, then 24 into 5. We just multiply. So we use a for loop. F into I will be the first one. Suppose the user sends the number 5. So this loop will start from 1 to 5 and it will multiply all the numbers. So at the end we will create a string object, that is my response. In this we write factorial is equals to plus f. So now this is my logic. So this part is the logic of the factorial. Okay, now we will send this res, right, to the client. Server will send, server sends the res to the client. So we already have a code, right? This is a code that is used to send the packet from one machine to another machine. So to send res, we also create a packet. So just copy and paste the code, and I'm changing the variable name to 1. So again bytes, it will be converted into bytes b1, and we send the response. So we convert the res into bytes, then IP address is same. Now we create a second packet, that is your dp2, which uses b1 and b1. And when we send the response, so we will write the port address of the client. IP address of both the processes are same because we are executing the program on the same machine. Therefore, there is no need to change this. inet address ddr equals to inet get localhost, वो same रहेगा, right? And now we send the dp2 to the client. So this is a code to send. Now client, after sending, client is waiting for the response, right? So server, client will receive the response from the server. So we also have a code, right? This is a code, right? This is the code which is basically used by the servers to read the packet, to receive the packet from the client. So I'm just copying this code, then again paste here, and again change the just variable name 1, dp2, this is my 2, again b1, and we receive dp2. At the time of type conversion in string 2, just write 2 and 2. This is my response. S out, we will print the response, data from server plus str. So this is my response. Okay, now we execute the program. So right click, run. As we can see here, the program is running. We are waiting for the client. Right click, execute the client, run. Now here we enter the number 5. As we can see here, the response from the server is your factorial. 5 factorial is 120. Same, again execute the server. Then we again execute the client. It will ask the number. So I am giving a 6. So we all know the factorial of the 6 is 720. So this is my 720. So in case of UDP, do remember students, the communication is done using a packets. So we have to create 2 packets on server side or on the client side. One packet is for sending the request and one packet is for receiving the request. And we are using 2 classes, datagram socket and the datagram packet. These are the 2 classes that are used in UDP. So this is all about the practical number 2A, right, UDP. I hope you understood this session. Thank you so much.